Happy to get game one done. Wasn't the prettiest. I thought we had some really good spurts where we looked great, exactly how we should look for most of the game. And then I think we had some moments where we looked like a brand new team. And so just going forward, trying to work those things out. And we have another tough opponent and a quick turnaround. So we have a big day tomorrow.
Questions? We'll start with Casey in the back.
Aside from just getting it done, game one, just what's the biggest sigh of relief from getting one win and one game under your belt?
Yeah, I just think it's one down, 27 more to go. I just think it helps. The more we can play, the better we'll get. And again, I've talked about it at length, that there's only so much things you can replicate this way in practice. And so the more games we get under our belt, the faster we can get going.
Zee Spearman really, especially that fourth quarter, just came to play and got the fans what they wanted, the 100 points on the scoreboard. Just how is she coming along? And that three she hit, I mean, if that's a shot she can consistently make, that's one heck of a
she can make
shot
it consistently,
guard.
yeah.
How is she coming along, and how big is she going to be going forward?
She's a big piece of what we do. She's getting better and better. She's probably one of the most improved players we had. When she first got here, it was just too fast for her, and she's learned to kind of settle in and play off 2 feet and go get rebounds, and she kind of fills up the stat sheet as well. And so she's very capable of being one of our top players. And we talked about it, I think, maybe at the media of the third quarter, if you don't like how many points you have, go run and transition, and she did that.
Took some time for them to settle into the press, but in the second quarter, I think it was back-to-back 10-second violations with Kanaya and Coop at the top of that press. Just what did you see that they were doing well when it was working, and where are maybe areas that needs to still kind of get more experience and time under their belt with it?
Yeah, when we play hard, we look great, and when we have one person that takes their foot off the gas, we look bad. And so them just understanding that sometimes I know it's hard to play hard, but it's so much more fun if you just go and play hard all the time, because when you do take those breaks, we're either turning it over or we're giving up wide open shots.
Coach, 17 offensive rebounds for Samford. What needs to improve in terms of the rebounding going forward?
Yeah, we got to box out. So we've harped on that, and they're just going to have to lose a game to understand how much we mean that is important to us.
You mentioned Zee's improvement. Was there a point in the offseason where you felt like she finally kind of grasped it and was able to play at this speed?
There was, and she kind of self-identified it as, hey, I'm going to work on playing off 2 feet today. And when she did that, she was great, and she kind of took off ever since.
Go next to Cora and Alex.
I thought Jewel looked so good all around tonight. She was making some great rotations, had even a block and some steals. Just where have you seen her grow on the defensive end, and how does her, consistency in all the areas help steady this team?
Yeah, it's big. She's our captain, our leader, a senior, and so for her to be able to fill up a stat sheet and get 7 rebounds and be able to score the ball and be able to block those shots, I don't think she got scored on very many times. She was getting deflections. She was all over the floor. She was talking. She was leading. I mean, she's invaluable.
Coach, your play style really has a way of getting energy out of the fans, out of the players. How big is that once you get into the grind of a season, just getting that energy?
Yeah, it's huge. I think I coach a lot, energy and effort, and there's some coaches that don't, but we coach energy and effort every day in practice and in every game.
I assume y'all track deflections in a game, and I'm not asking for the number, but it seems like Talaysia Cooper, that number is going to be very high for her.
Yeah, that's a good question. We did track them today. It was the first day we tracked them. I would actually like to go back and see what it was, because she sees the ball and she goes and gets the ball, and that's big for us because those deflections equal points for us.
Building on to points, how important is it or impressive is it to see her be able to create steals or breakups, and then on the other end she converts it for points?
Yeah, it's huge. She can also fill up a stat sheet, and I think her steals really help our whole entire offense get a good flow. She'll start these runs for us, which are big, and they were hanging around until she really got her hand on a couple balls, and then we could kind of take off.
You mentioned you wanted Samara to score more. Was tonight closer to the play style you're looking at of her?
Absolutely. She was very efficient, and I think she's always going to be efficient, but she did such a good job of pushing pace for us, getting downhill, getting those layups in transition. It's exactly what we want out of our point guard.
Thought Alyssa Latham looked really good in her minutes tonight. Just what did you like from her, and what are you asking of her to take that next step to, you know, maybe earn more minutes in the rotation?
Yeah, I think she's off to a great start to do that. She is very active. She has high hands. She's probably pretty high up there on the deflection chart as well. She rebounds the ball very well, and she doesn't take bad shots.
Take two on the back row, Casey and then Riley.
It looks like the team has the ability for anyone to go and have a night. I mean, first half looked like might be Talaysia's night, and then second half obviously is Zee finishing with the career high and the most points. Just having a team where there is so much depth, how important is that for the longevity of a season and being able to have all that depth to tap into?
It's big. It's a big part of what we do. We want to be a hard scout. We want to be able to play through foul trouble. We want to be able to play through off nights. We want to be able to play through injuries. And when you have a roster like this, it definitely helps.
Coach, kind of what is your deciding factor when you're doing this 5 in, 5 out? Is it a time, like, okay, it's been a minute and a half, or someone makes a bad, turnover or anything, or is everybody coming out?
Most of it's just looking at their volume, looking at their motors and seeing how tired they are. And then, yeah, there are some times where if they don't let the other team go on a run, that we'll get them out of there.
Go Jack and then Cora.
Coach, back here in 48 hours, how do you sort of prepare the team for a game in 2 days when you have so much running in your system?
Yeah, we talked about it. They got to rest, they got to eat, they got to take care of their bodies, and then it's not like we can just show up for our next game. We actually have to prep tomorrow, and so it will be a quick turnaround. And we have to go live. We have to go full court because we have to clean up our turnovers.
Not the sharpest shooting night from deep, but didn't seem like there was, many bad shots, just they weren't falling. What did you think of the shot selection? And was it kind of just a bad shooting night?
Yeah, I think it was a little bit better. They might have been a little bit rushed. We don't have a zone, so when we see a zone, sometimes with the teams I coach, it takes a little bit of time to settle in, just to shooting from different angles and having people closing you out a different way. But I do think it was good that we could shoot the ball pretty pitifully and still not we didn't pout, I don't think, and I don't think we really took our foot off the gas. And sometimes you'll have teams that will just be so into how they're shooting that they won't play as hard, and I didn't really see that tonight.
Paige and then Maria.
Mentally, do you think the way that you substitute helps keep players who aren't having their best game, keep them locked in because they know they're going to go back in? Like, does the shooter has to keep shooting? Speaking of like Sarah not having her best night, does the substitution help her mentally maybe stay in the game?
Yeah, I would think so. I think Sarah did a really good job of finding other ways to help our team. I know she was frustrated, but she had, I think, maybe 3 beautiful assists in a row. She had a highlight reel of effort play in the first half. I mean, and it really sparked us. And I know that she's probably very frustrated right now with the way she played, but she didn't pout. She just found other ways to help us. And she will have her night. And just like you saw with maybe Zee didn't have a great first half, you can always turn it on in a quarter or in a half.
Coach, I think adding them up, there are 46 fouls in 40 minutes. The fans don't like that. Obviously, it's the start and stop. When the whistles are kind of heavy, does that affect your style at all? Or I just wondered how you could tell the fans were frustrated. I wonder if the frustration settles in sometimes with the team a little bit too.
Yeah, I mean, I hate it. It slows the game down. We want to do everything but slow the game down. It gives away points. And that's another thing that we've been on them in practice about, and they don't think they ever foul in practice. And we just went in there and told them, well, we were not lying to you. You do foul. And that'll take some time. We'll clean it up.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Thank you, guys.